All right, here we go. All right, looks like we got some people popping in here. Welcome. So excited to see everyone here for our 2021 International Climate Action Challenge Impact Summit. Woohoo! All right, people are piling in. So nice to see everybody. Let's see, we've got Ali from Sudan, Muhammad from Pakistan, Eva, I think you guys might be in Poland now. Jin and Kat, we've got some folks in the US here. Susan, Rob, Sharnon in Curacao. All right. So welcome everybody, and please introduce yourself in the chat. Say hello. If you're one of our challengers, then let us know what team you're on. And yeah, let's get the party started. Hopefully you're able to participate. Okay, great. Looks like, all right, Coralie is here, one of our board members. It's so exciting. Yeah, so hop right in there. I am going to go ahead and share my screen, get some of these announcements out of the way. Oh, that's so exciting. We've been working so long to get to this point here. So yeah, let's get the party started here. Just to give you a quick overview. By the way, we are streaming live on Facebook. So if anybody wants to catch this later, you are welcome to. And to the Green Team Academy Facebook page. So today we're starting the first day of our 3-day Impact Summit. And every day we have, okay, it's 0 hours, it's time to go. We have a similar kind of session every day where we have a workshop, happy hour, and workshop during that 2.5-hour time. For our workshops, for the most part, we're going to use this webinar format. And then our happy hour will have a Zoom meeting so you can come on screen and talk with everybody. So today's session will be starting giving you kind of a quick overview of what all we're doing with the summit, with the challenge. And we've got a couple of special guests from the Philippines joining us. It's midnight, so thank you very much for staying up with us. So we'll check back in with Lanie and Dann in a moment. And then we're going to go through and talk to our award-winning teams from Pakistan and the Philippines. Then we'll do our half-hour chat. And I was up late last night putting our impact report together. You know, our challenge just ended November 30th. So we've been interviewing our teams and getting our numbers. So we're going to be talking all about that at 10:30, which is 90 minutes from now. And we're going to be introducing you to Marian Mejia and Mensa Chedze of Earth Guardian. So that's another one of our strategic partners that have been helping us through this and have some very cool ways that they can help our teams as they come out. So hope you will be around for that. And then we're going to be introducing our West African teams. And then going on to tomorrow, we have a similar kind of schedule, workshop, happy hour workshop. Really exciting on this one, we've got Winna McLaren from the City and County of Denver Office of Climate Action, Sustainability and Resiliency, as well as Jackson Parikh. He is a middle schooler, he's on our board. He and his aunt and his sister are business owners. They're the ones that are helping plant the trees for folks that make a donation. So we'll go through our Denver challenger teams. You'll get to see 1-minute videos from all of our top folks as we go through all of these. And then we'll go pop over to Kenya, see what they've been doing, have our happy hour. And then after our break, we're going to have a session where we're talking more about the 2022 challenge. How can you be involved with Green Team Academy? What are your ideas for how we can collaborate going forward? And then we head to Uganda and Sudan, see what they've been doing. And then our last day, we're so excited. We're bringing back Nick Zakar, who is an award-winning videographer and producer, used to be with National Geographic, is now with NOAA. He's trained our teams how to make 1-minute videos. So he's coming back to talk about the videos that he saw and highlight some of the ones that he really likes, show what's working, and give some tips on how to improve your videos. Then we go into our Americas, have another meet and greet. And finally, we go into this idea of how to mentor and mobilize your entire community. So how could you host a 90-day challenge to get everyone synced and working together, as we just did, getting folks around the world. All right, so we do have a fundraiser going on. We became a nonprofit at the end of May, Green Team Academy. Our mission is empower everyday people to be the change. And so we rely on you, people like you, to make contributions to help us move forward. There's lots of other ways you can participate too. This is all on this summit page. And I wanted to tell you about our Tree Heroes Wall of Fame. So these are all folks who have donated. So we have 177 trees so far that we're planting with our 2 tree planting partners. So that is Glow and Gather, who are planting in India, because that's their heritage. And then also Chris, Marvin Tumusimi, and Nyansi and Brenda, the team from Uganda. They're planting another 200 trees for us. So thank you to everyone who has contributed, and please feel free to join us. Our goal is to make it to 1,000 trees by the end of December. I think we can get there with your help. Just wanted to also give a shout out to all of our sponsors. So Susan is here with The Right Architect, has been a big part of getting the book created and helping us every step of the way. Twigs & Co. Has been helping us do all of our outreach, helping us nurture partners, get more money coming in, which is important. That's how we're able to put this kind of event and host this kind of challenge. And Serendipity Catering as well has been doing sustainable catering for 20 years. So we've got all of our other partners here. Thanks to everybody. And we're going to be meeting Seed for Calm, Earth Guardians Africa, and we're also a 1% for the Planet partner. So if you want to donate to a 1% for the Planet nonprofit, we will gladly accept those donations. And finally, this is all based on this idea of the book and the workbook, and those are available. And we really appreciate if you pick that up. Anything that you do supports us going forward. All right. Okay. That was like the fastest talking I've done in a very long time. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second here, if I can figure out how to. Where did my meeting controls go? There we go. Awesome. Okay, great. I am going to check here. All right, we've got Dan, and do we have Lanie? I'm not sure if we have Lanie yet. I'm just going to check in the chat and see what everybody's talking about here. All right, so Rob and Eva are from Team 49. They're currently in Poland. Nan is on our board. Jeff Kinsey, thank you so much for being one of our sponsors. Vicky, oh, this is so great for being in the chat there with that link to plant a tree. She's with Twigs & Co. We've got Inglewood. Yay, Lala is from Senegal. Bonjour, bonsoir, Lala. Sudan. Tamira, we're going to be Tamira's cruise during the Americas. Tamira's team. Jonathan, Ayuweka, Uganda, welcome. We've got Kat, one of our longtime hosts here. And okay, let's see. Oh, and Francisca, welcome. So exciting. Pakistan. This is so great. All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. I'm just kind of checking from Egypt. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And this is really part of the fun thing that we have found is that not only, so our tagline is get together, make a difference and feel better. And, you know, we probably know about COP26, where world leaders from around the world, you know, traveled, tons of people went there and had discussions. Well, during that same time, our teams planted over 150,000 trees, started 130 gardens, did 40 cleanups, and so much more. So we're so excited to be able to share this really positive, really exciting vibe with you. So Dan, I'm going to, let's see. Dan, I'm going to see if I can promote you to a panelist now. Since it's almost midnight, we might as well get you on sooner than later. Let's see if that works. Okay, what am I doing? There's Dan. Asked to unmute. Hi, Dan. Did I just mute you? Or there we go. Awesome. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, it's midnight here in the Philippines. Have a green day, everyone. Yeah, so I'm in one of the island, and last year, Joanne has been helping us for promoting our Eco Tabang solar lamp. So I'll show you what we have here. We just trained like 15 local communities. Hi Trisha, here in the island of Negros. It's like across Cebu. There is a strong typhoon coming that is hitting this region in 2 days. So we have to immediately cancel our program here, and we have to go back to Cebu because of the flights. Yeah, so the Philippines is on the average we got around 22 typhoons a year. Yes. So yeah, so excited to be part of this year's climate challenge, and I'm so thankful that we have 4 teams from the Philippines. Last year we have, I think, the same number, and hoping that the next year will expand more. So each has to bring one team. So that should be our goal for next year. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. Okay, so I think that, you know, one of the early things that the reason that Green Team Academy started was I noticed that people do things like they say, hey, the climate's a big deal, pollution's a big deal, and everyone needs to make an impact. But very few people actually teach you how to make an impact. And so one of the first things that I did was start finding people who were actually making a difference on the ground. And so Dan Diez is one of the first teams that I learned about. And so we've been interviewing him regularly of how are you doing this? How are you getting so many people involved in your cleanups? How are you helping farmers start micro entrepreneurial businesses? How are you helping people start community gardens? So all these amazing things that they've been doing. And Dan was reminding me that in the book, in the Climate Action Challenge book, you can read more about some of the projects that they have done. But could you show the solar lamp again real quick? Because that's
Yeah,
something that
so
you
this
created.
is in fact one of our partner, Randy from Kaunti Farms. We also trained them, no? And they are also doing this. It's like a pet plastic bottles, and it's LED. Well, you can do it your own. We can do demo online. Last 2 weeks ago, we did a Pakistan Zoom online. So because we also have a partner, Sustainable Development Goals in Pakistan, and we we also promote this online. So we provide you all the tools you need, the PowerPoint, just secure the kits and the tools that are locally available. So here in the Philippines, this is our way of promoting green, clean energy through the do-it-yourself solar lamps. And we're teaching scouts, we're teaching teachers and local grassroots communities, the church. So we are hosted by the bishop of this diocese, and they have a battle against the local government promoting the coal, and we mobilize in the protest, but we also train them how to build their own, these lamps where upland and fisher folks and the rural last mile not connected to the grid. Yeah. And I'd
Yeah.
like to add, like, making an impact. So how to make an impact. So PACT, pact, and I'm. So you need the self, and to make a commitment, a pact to yourself and to others. So that's we make impact with Joanne, me and her joining and committed to this yearly challenge, even though the time is quite so late, but we're all in this together, so we have to sacrifice a bit. Yeah.
Exactly, right. I'm up at 4 a.m. on their sessions, and they're up at midnight. So yeah, we're able to work together. And I think that, a lot of people talk about climate justice and have meetings about climate justice, but what's different about what we're doing is we're actually acting on climate justice. So the Philippines, Africa, a lot of the places that we have teams are in those areas that are at the highest risk for the effects of extreme weather. They're experiencing them already today. And we in countries like the US and elsewhere are the ones that produced most of the carbon emissions.
Mhm.
So we're all about action, and we're working together on the ground, just making stuff happen. So like
Yeah,
those.
and thank you for those friends, green friends in our Green Team Academy. We are already planting around 125 fruit trees.
All right.
Thank you very much for this year's watching of the films where proceeds are planting for the Planet Philippines. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's right. That's right. Because we raised funds to plant trees with Plant for the Planet Philippines during our last session. Yeah, so that's our idea. And, as kind of the story of how Dan got his start was he was out traveling and doing cool stuff, and was seeing his home country getting hit by Philippines, and came back and started creating products like this. Like you can see that small pet lamp, the pet bottle and LED and a small solar panel, that's something that can provide light, that can provide phone charging in the midst of all these typhoons and these different extreme events that are coming our way.
So
So
I'm turning off the lights just to see like how it's
oh, cool.
So you
Yeah.
can use this if brown out camping. You make
Right.
one and donate to people who don't have electricity, or you can just donate to our cause and we build it for you. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
you can have
So
a disco, Christmas lights. In fact, Randy from Kaunti, they developed these lamps as lanterns.
oh, I saw
Yeah.
those are like
So
green and red lanterns,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So dark.
yeah, right. So that's pretty good. That's a good example. That is midnight and you're able to provide enough light for doing that. Okay, all right, let's see. I'm gonna see here if Lanie is on. Yes, she is. Okay, let's bring Lanie into the conversation.
Unmute. Join us, panel.
You're on, Lanie. Can you hear us? Hi, Lanie. We heard her for a second.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back,
There
Joanne.
you go.
Sorry.
Awesome.
Yeah, I,
That's
I
so
had
great.
made a mistake. I think I put it on my calendar an hour later. So Trisha
That's,
just called me and said, "Hey, you need to be online now." But I was awake. I didn't sleep because
that's what friends are for.
I might miss it. Yeah.
That's great.
So good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning. Yeah, so we were just introducing, we were talking with Dan and how this whole partnership came about and how we have so many teams from the Philippines, and a lot of it is because of our strategic partnership with Seed for Calm. And
Mhm.
one of the things that we teach people is get 100 ideal partners. And if you've been struggling to make an impact, once you start getting 100 partners, and that's what I learned from folks like Dan. But that's how we found you, Lanie, and
Mhm.
it's through Dan. And so I just wanted to give you a moment to talk a little bit about what how you found this challenge and how you're kind of working with some of the other teams, and then we're going to go into the actual team profiles in a moment. But I just wanted to introduce you and welcome you as one of our special guests today.
All right. Sure. So, well, again, good morning, everyone. And as Joanne mentioned earlier, I got to know about the challenge through seed4.com. I saw it from their website, and I thought, well, I think this is what I've been waiting for, because we've been trying to work with a lot of communities for the last 3 years. And what I have realized is that what I've learned in corporate project management and leadership from a corporate standpoint is something that probably some of those things that I learned through experience and training, I was able to use in my advocacy in the Philippines. But it left me unprepared for developing communities, because the Philippines has such a varied demographics, so it was really hard at first, developing communities or establishing communities. um, Advocating Bokashi as an additional way of restoring the health of our soil at a personal and household level was easy, because I think the com- uh, the citizens of the Philippines have been waiting for something to do more in a more deliberate way, because there's a lot of webinars, a lot of talks about acting on climate change, but there was no clear way of acting on it. And I thought composting and gardening is something that you can do on deliberately, right? But we do understand that we really need to take action collectively. We need to take action as a community in order to make a bigger impact, since we're acting on a sense of urgency. This is not something that we do out of because we just want to do it as a hobby. This is really something that we do in order to protect our future, our children's future, or the next generation's future. So it's very important that we work as communities. So when I learned about this, initially I read through the book. I'm a browser. When I read through the book, and somehow I felt that Joanne is actually speaking to my heart. It's like she was way ahead of me. It seems like all of the experiences that I've been experiencing right now as a leader, Joanne has already experienced it I mean years before, and that she already have a way of dealing with the issues that I've been facing. So I thought I really want this course. I really want to be in this challenge, and um, recruiting team members wasn't really a challenge for me. It was easy. Like I only sent a few emails, and then there was Trisha, Isa, and of course Roy, um, Didi, Deborah, and Angelica, and then also there was Bel Rodrigo and Maria Estela, and now even the Kaunti farm team. No, so it was easy. And then going through the 90-day challenge, it was like a treat for myself. I call it a treat because I'm such a workaholic. I put myself in a certain standard, right? I always want to overachieve. And what really stuck in my mind, what was stuck in my mind is when in that workbook, I was just reading through, and I think there was a section about self-care. So it was
Yeah.
about the self-care. That's the one that's really stuck because I really drive myself really, really hard. And I thought, oh, I think this is where I'm really, really having a lot of hard time because I'm close to burnout. So I would really have to say that I, I am really grateful to Joanne for initiating this challenge, initiating this course. And I really wish that it will continue for a long, long time because I don't think Dan and I are alone. You know, as leaders, we do need someone to guide us and say, look, you cannot drive yourself to burnout if you want to really make lasting changes. You've got to pace yourself. You've got to partner. I really like the 100 partner list. I really like those things you mentioned about the importance of personal one-on-ones and weekly meetings. The funny thing is, apparently, I've been doing all of those things, but I don't have a structure. I mean, I really don't have a specific milestone for each of those one-on-ones or weekly meetings. But now that I've read through the workbook, apparently there's a reason, there's a rhyme and reason for every interaction, whether it's one-on-one or weekly or even a summit like this. It's really important that we connect at a personal level and also at a team level because our weekly meetings actually make it a ritual. You know, it's like our tribal meetings, so to speak, because for the longest time, and even I think Trisha and Isa and the rest of the team, when they joined Bokashi Pinoy, they kept saying, I found my tribe. And I would say that the ICAC team is a bigger tribe. So yeah, so that's the reason why I would say I'm very grateful for this community of climate changers, I would say change catalysts or coaches or mentors. So
Right.
I hope that you continue years to come. In terms of our impact here in the Philippines, I would say some of the things that we've been doing in the last 3 years, but somehow there are certain processes that has been fast tracked because of the ICAC guidelines. For example, in Barangay San Antonio, Pasig, we've been working with them for about a year. There's a lot of learnings from there. There's a lot of things that we did right and somehow we need to improve on. I just know that we need to improve on something, but ICAC actually made it to the forefront, what we needed to improve. And then we work with other communities at a much faster pace because, again, of these guidelines from ICAC. So I really want to continue doing this. We met our goal, 8,500 kilograms of food waste in 90 days. So there you go. Thanks again, Joanne, and thanks to everyone and to Dan, Jess, and his team for opening this opportunity for us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lanie, for popping on and saying that. And Dan, there's a couple people that were asking for how to get in touch with Seed4Com. So
Yeah, just message us on our Facebook page or through connect with Joanne. And thank you, Lanie, because we have our yearly National Cleanup Day Summit, and because of the ICANN challenge, we invited her to give a Zoom session on Bokashi. So it's really a good network and opportunity for us to invite experts or practitioners on the ground through online, and get inspired of how they are doing. So thank you, Bokashi Pinoy.
yeah, I knew right from the beginning we're going to learn a lot from their team, and we have indeed. All right. So, one of the things I forgot to really mention before we started was just to give you kind of an introduction to what the heck. So you're hearing folks talking about ICAC or ICAC21, and this is the International Climate Action Challenge. So the whole idea of the challenge started with me trying to figure out how do we get people to actually take action. So once I started understanding some of these principles that we learned from Dan and others around the world, how do we get people to actually do them? And as I became a wellness coach, I realized that, if you tell people you need to exercise and lose weight, nothing happens. But you get in a program and you have some goals and you all do it together. Then for me, that's how I was able to lose 35 pounds, was getting into a program like that. And as a wellness coach, that's how I help people. So I realized coaching is this missing ingredient that we did not have as we were in a lot of this environmental work. So that's how we came up with the idea of that Climate Action Challenge book and workbook and doing this International Climate Action Challenge. So we did it in 2020 and did it again in 2021 from September 1st to November 30th. So everything that we're talking about today are things that our teams did in 90 days during a pandemic, during that time frame. All right, so we are going to go ahead and go into our first session here, where we're going to be talking about our Asian challengers. So we're excited that we have a team from Pakistan and we have the 4 teams from the Philippines. So let me see how this is working here. You know what I need to do is make sure I'm going to stop and reshare with audio so that you're able to hear the sound. Okay, so I think that we're going to start with the Likas-Kaya Perma gardeners. And this team, in addition to being awesome and having an amazing idea, Stella and Belle have also been helping us on the background, creating a lot of the graphics and making things happen for us and helping the other teams edit their videos. So every one of our challenger teams has created a 1-minute video. So we're going to go ahead and just start with that. I'm going to mute myself.
We are Team 44 Likas-Kaya Perma Gardeners, and we joined the International Climate Action Challenge 21 with the goal of building a more sustainable and self-sufficient urban community garden in Philippines. Driven to reverse climate change by taking steps in educating our community through composting method, where we partnered with Bokashi Pinoy in feeding the soil. By applying permaculture principles, we will not only benefit humans but other species as well.
We aim to inspire other communities to put up their own Likas-Kaya perma gardens too, and make our world a better place for our next generations.
Yay! Love to hear some messages in the chat for the Likas-Kaya Perma gardeners. Yeah, and another cool thing that they were talking about is how that they are partnering. That's a really neat thing that the Philippines teams did, is they all kind of worked together, and instead of any one person, any one team trying to do it all, they partnered with each other with expertise and with their skills. You see that there's the Seed for Calm shirt there, where Seed for Calm was there. Gio was helping them figure out their design. So the Likas-Kaya team diverted 150 kilograms of food waste. They engaged their community. They got the support from 3 local government units. They gave away 100 seeds to individuals, and they began this garden. And what I love also about the Likas-Kaya team is that in addition to doing this, their stated goal in the very beginning is to create it as a model and to show other people how they can do this with any piece of land that has been abandoned to this point. Dan or Lanie, did you guys want to to hop in here before we go to the next one? I can't really see very well on my controls here. Okay, so maybe Lanie's not on screen at the moment. Dan, did you want to say a message? Oh, Lanie, let me get you back on here as a participant. It might take a second. I just need more screens, more controls. Lanie. Hi, Lanie.
There you go. Yeah, so I personally seen the hard work of this. I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you now.
There you go. So I've seen personally how this team work. And then Clarence Gio Almonte from seed4.com is also one of the, I would say, protagonists. This is the homeowners association actually of that particular community. It was a tough team to break. I would say that that the idea of a garden in the middle of a residential area wasn't welcome in the beginning, but because of the persistence of the team of Stella and Bell and Gio and some of the local government units who've been helping us, we were able to break into their shells and made it happen. So I'm really, really excited to see them see this dream into fruition. It was Belle's idea actually since a year ago. She's been talking about doing this, and I thought, you know, this is the best way to get started, because I don't think they'll be able to do this on their own as individuals. Getting the help of as many parties as possible, I think, would make it bigger. It's just a very small lot. I think about less than 200 square meters, but I can see a lot of potential because of the structure of the area. It has a very steep slope. And instead of seeing it as a challenge, we see it as an opportunity to showcase what we can do with that space used to be full of garbage. There was really a complete transformation in just a few months, you know, so.
Yeah.
Really,
And I think the other thing, like what you said, this is a
Mhm.
really important thing that we teach people, and that, again, that we learned from our partners around the world, is that expect to hear no. Like, don't get worried when people say no. Like, they're gonna say no, and that's not, it's not something that stops you. It's just part of the process. So they're gonna say no, and then you're gonna need to find ways to make it more interesting, more exciting, and understand what they really care about, and find ways to build those relationships and speak their language of, you know, whatever it is that they care about, how you can link your mission. And so, yeah, I think these guys have done a really great job by not saying no, not accepting no, and just saying, okay, we'll let's spend some more time. Let's talk about it. Let's understand each other, and move forward. And then you have these relationships where you've got people excited about what you're doing.
Yeah, I would say that the strength of this team is persistence and grit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's very cool. All right. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next one, which is Kaunti Farm. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing where we're going to show the video first. But you'll see the message of this coming up, but the idea of this is that there's a piece of land in the middle of a busy highway. And when I spoke with Randy, he said, you know, there's a lot of people in our community that were going hungry during the pandemic. And I saw this piece of land, and I saw our friends, our families that were hungry, and I prayed. And this is the answer that I got of, this is what I was supposed to do. And so now this farm is, they just created an association of 21 families that are members that work this farm. So let's go ahead and watch it now.
So, kumusta mga ka-urban? Nandito ulit tayo sa Kaunti Farm. may mga bago kami ngayon. May mga cosmos na rin tayo para kung sakaling mag-bee farming tayo, ready na tayo. May mga bago rin tayong mga pananim. Kakawati po ang tawag nito. Meron na rin tayo, umuuslong na rin yung mga malunggay natin. Citronella. Ito mga malunggay, maganda na rin ang tubo. Pili na demonyo, galing Bicol. Ito, green na green. Meron din tayong dragon fruit, tayong mulberry. Huwag kalimutan yung native natin na papaya. Tayong rain catcher. Tinupik ko lang itong tent para makakuha ng tubig. Ito yung lagundi. Yung mga gustong pang-herbal niyan. Sige, pasyalan po kayo dito sa Kaunti at bibigyan ko kayo.
All right. I'm realizing, and let's see, Vicky or someone, if you want to do this too, I can also be posting the link. I'll put the one for Kaunti Farm in here. Let's see, and our previous one. Maybe Vicky, if you have a chance, you could post the link to the Likas-Kaya in the chat as well. Dan, are you okay? I know it's midnight. It's beyond that. But Lanie, did you want to say something?
Yeah, this is another story of garbage to garden because that island is in the middle of a busy highway. I think it's about 500 square meters. Yeah, it used to be a garbage dump. There used to be a fire there was a fire near that particular site, and all of the rubbish that came from that fire was actually dumped into this particular garbage dump. And I think Randy started cleaning this up 2 years ago, even before the pandemic. And they continued to improve it as they goes by. The really funny thing about this site is that when you are inside that garden, you would completely forget that you are in the middle of a busy highway. It's like an oasis. You know how it feels when you are in a very busy highway and you feel so out of touch with nature, and then suddenly you go into this cocoon. That's how it feels. And I think when Randy started this, he didn't really realize the impact that it will make as far as climate change is concerned. All he was thinking about is that it's a potential way of organizing the community and growing edible food. And when he joined the ICAC challenge, that's when he realized that, oh, there's actually more benefits out of gardening and cleaning up a garbage dump, that it can actually restore the environment for the future generation. So that's how simple a gardening initiative can be. It unites people. And then when you start working on that garden physically, that's when you can start sharing with them that, you know what, just by doing this, you can actually reduce the toxic gases that's being emitted, or at least it will absorb some of the excess carbon dioxide. So it becomes an experiential learning opportunity as well. And then as Dan mentioned earlier, all of those PET bottles that was turned into lamps, I think it was really useful for them, because this area is unlit, especially at night. Even if it's in the middle of a busy road, there's no street lamp. It's really dark at night. So I think it's really good for them. And then it's also a good way to engage the kids making those lamps.
Yeah, and also these eco bricks.
The eco bricks.
And I think that's another thing they learned from Seed for Calm.
Yes, from Seed for
was how to do these. And you know, so this idea, yeah, like Susan was saying, like that fencing enclosure out of these eco bricks that are made from plastic waste, you know, we're just changing. I was talking with Randy and saying, you know, this is a model that could be used anywhere and everywhere. Like think of how many highways we have that are just, like you said, there's kind of soulless. And if we saw each of those spots as a potential farm, a potential community spot, and being able to create these enclosures, which I think Randy said this is one of the first ones that has ever been created this way using this technique. So yeah, it's an amazing story. So way to go, Kaunti Farm. Yeah, and thank you to Belle and Stella, who also pitched in and helped with some of the video editing. And that's the thing, like we're not, nobody has to be able to do it all on their own. Plenty of people are there to help you. Okay, so we wanted to put our Pakistan team kind of in the middle, surrounded by our Philippines teams. So we're so excited. I know we've got a couple of the folks from the Pakistan team are on here today. So congratulations. And by the way, those last two teams are both Eco Champion Award winners, Likas-Kaya Perma Gardeners, and also Kaunti Farm. So congratulations to both teams. All right, so the next team is Diamond from Pakistan. And we're just so excited that the Diamond team found us. And we've been loving seeing the photos of what they've been doing as they're, posting in our WhatsApp group. And, we've had some discussions about as they're planting moringa and the techniques they're using, and some of our teams from the Philippines have also been chatting about, oh, this is how we do it. And so it really is this global sharing. So we're going to go ahead and show the 1-minute video from Pakistan.
Hello, Diamond from Pakistan, and we are contributing in the International Climate Action Challenges 2021. And our team main goal was to plant 6,000 different plant species and to distribute them between the farmers, school, and the neighborhood community. When we talk about the climate, in our urban areas there is a lack of space, and in the rural areas people are lacking the technology. So we created awareness between the school, farmer, community with working different national organizations, how to go carbon-free environment and how to promote healthy lifestyle by growing organic foods at their own small spaces. And you can contact us on Instagram and on Facebook. Thanks for the Green Team Academy and the Dear Joan.
All right, and thank you to our team from Pakistan, another award winner. This is just another example of people just getting together, figuring out what needs to be done, and doing it on the ground. I think one of the things that we're seeing here is that there is a lot of hope being put on our world leaders, understanding what needs to be done and doing it. But are they able really to be able to do it in the same way that we are? Those of us who see things on the ground, can't we just hop in and do things? And so that's exactly what our Pakistan team is doing. So not only are they planting trees and making an impact that way, but they're also doing cleanups. And it's this, one of the things that we talk with our teams about is how taking photos and sharing pictures of actually doing stuff is the language of attraction. And so if you're having a hard time getting people interested in your initiative, then you might not be speaking that language of attraction. And so photos like this, showing them partnering, working together, making a difference. And remember, this is all during the pandemic, and most places in the world that still do not have vaccines yet are still able, or at as high a level, at least as we're seeing here in the US, are still able to get out there and make a difference. And it's just been so beautiful to be able to meet this Diamond team from Pakistan. So thank you, Team Diamond, and congratulations on your Eco Champion Award. Okay, so now we're going to go to our next, let's see here. Yay, Team Diamond. So beautiful. All right, so our next team is Seed for Calm Sapang Dalaga chapter in the Philippines. And I think, Dan, if you're still there, I'm going to ask you to comment, but maybe we'll just go ahead and play their video first. This is a really cool project. They have this idea of creating an eco cottage. And so you're going to get to do a tour of the eco cottage. And thank you, Vicky, for putting that stuff in the chat. Anybody that's looking for this, if you just go to climateactionchallenge.net and go to challengers or blog.climateactionchallenge.net, you can see these as well. Okay, so here we go. We get to do a tour of where they are starting an eco cottage. You can see these PET bottles made into to fence ropes, I would almost say. But yeah, let's take a look.
Today, we, Seed4Com Sapang Dalaga chapter, will show you the progress of our International Climate Action Challenge 2021. This is the area where we will build our eco cottage. Come, I will show you around. We will utilize these plastic bottles for our eco cottage walls. And these tires are donations from Sapang Dalaga communities.
Okay, so Dan, do you want to hop on here and talk about a little bit more of this, of the Seed for Calm chapter, because you probably know more than I do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this chapter, it's part of the southern region of the country. It's rural village where they don't have a lot of, you know, trash, so they always ask for donation like recyclable, like the tires, because in rural communities they don't use a lot of plastics, you know, because they have more lands, and even getting PET bottles sometimes it's so hard. So this chapter of ours in southern tip of Mindanao, I once visited them like 4 years ago. They were our first trained in that region on eco bricks. The one with plastic bottles and stuffed with single-use plastic. So they created toilets, garden plots using eco bricks, and right now they're doing upcycling, because I told them like there's no much money in recycling wherein you sell it to the junk shop, but they prefer to do creative artworks from trash, and then they can sell them for decoration and upcycling. So those are the ongoing initiative, and I'm so thankful for this team because they are already creating 2 chapters this year, expanding outside the region. So that's how we also grow in Seed4Com as a national volunteer organization, establishing different chapters. So young people are taking the lead, and they are also adapting what we do in other regions, just like the Kaunti farms and the Likas-Kaya farm as well. So that's how we grow, slowly, through creating teams and sharing what we do. They don't have to invent anything new. They just replicate the projects that are needed in their locality. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. I realize we're going to have to keep going here. A quick question. What are they using the tires for?
Yeah, the tires, they are using it as perimeter fence, or because we have a good experienced architect from Mexico, and they collect tires as foundation for making a shelter. So you can make even tires as wall, as perimeter. You just put the debris there in between,
Maybe
So-
we'll have to get more pictures to see how it's going,
Yeah, so
how it all is working. Excellent. Okay. All right. Thank you, Dan, for letting us know. I realize I just need to kind of pick up the pace here and make sure that we talk with Lanie next. So we're going to be talking about Bokashi Pinoy. And so, by the way, congratulations as Eco Champion Award winner to the Seed for Calm Sapang Dalaga chapter. So this next video that we're going to see is just one of the many communities that they're working on, but let's go ahead and watch the video first.
Can a bucket change the world? In Pasig City, Philippines, citizens showed it can. Their buckets have turned this garbage dump into this wonderful garden that grows food. Local residents compost their food waste in buckets with a special ingredient called Bokashi. After being stored for 2 weeks, the buckets are brought to this garden, feeding the soil and producing loads of nourishment for the plants. In the past year, around 10 buckets or 100 kilograms were collected per month. But last October, the team was able to collect a whopping 45 buckets or 450 kilograms of food waste. With the help of residents and city leaders, the team aims sky high with 100 buckets per month by Earth Day 2022. They believe that together, we can save the environment. One bucket at a time!
Woo!
We have a lot more videos than that, Joan. It's just that we don't have time to edit. Yeah, we didn't have time to edit. But really, this video is a testament to the hard work of all of the volunteers, the community leaders, the advocates, and also the mentors. We successfully diverted 8,000 kilograms of food waste away from the landfill, about 1,200 kilograms of PET bottles that are dry and clean. Our method for segregating PET bottles is to ensure that our households, the households that we have trained, actually bring clean and dry PET bottles without labels, so that the receivers will have an easier time in recycling it, and they can actually fetch a higher price. So for example, in junk shops, as Dann mentioned earlier, a kilogram of PET bottles would cost only 5 pesos. But if it's through our partners, they can sell it for 20 pesos, which is 4 times the original buying price of junk shops. And not only that, we were able to also divert 200 liters of used cooking oil. And I think the biggest win for this particular thing is that we were able to secure funding for a livelihood program for 30 landless farmers in Nueva Ecija. I would say not secure, but more like in principle, it's a proof that we have this budget for a livelihood program for at least 9 out of the 30 landless farmers in Nueva Ecija that we are targeting as beneficiaries. We also receive support more like a verbal support from the mayor of the city. He's the most admired mayor, one of the most admired mayors in Metro Manila. That's Mayor Vico Soto. So we're hoping that we could replicate this to other barangays, not just in Pasig City, but also in other cities of Metro Manila. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's, I mean, we've been learning a lot from the Bokashi Pinoy team of how to do things, how to get your teams activated. And one of the things that we train people to do is day of action. And the Bokashi Pinoy team took that on with, I know you've already been doing that to some degree, but, you know, really showing how most of our work, you know, honestly, for all of us, most of our work is sending emails and a lot of time behind the computer, but that isn't what shows people your actual impact. And so being able to do these kind of day of actions, grabbing these really beautiful photos, getting people together, measuring your results and conveying it. And I think one of the things that also people don't understand is if you want your government to change, they don't understand Bokashi. Like we can't ask them to do something that we already don't know how to do. So we as the communities need to, what we see, we need to act on it and demonstrate and pilot and say, you guys, we've been telling you it's not that hard. We're doing it. So we're showing you it's not that hard. And now we can work in concert with you and find the things that you're trying to do and be part of the solution together. And so I think that is a big part of kind of dispelling the myth that working on small projects in your community, it isn't a small action. It's the beginning of transformation. It transforms the people into becoming leaders themselves. I saw that with the Bokashi team, where Lanie is the leader, but even during this 90-day challenge, some of the other people stepped up and did more and more and have been taking on more responsibilities even during this short time, and now encouraging some of your communities to go forward and start their own projects. And so using that ripple effect to keep going. Yeah, so thank you very much, Lanie and Dan. You guys were kind of like on time for this. So what we're going to do next is we're gonna end this meeting, and we are going to and if Lanie or Dan, if you guys wanted to say something, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into our Zoom meeting where everybody can be. I know people are putting comments in the chat. We're not able to answer them all. So next we're going to go into our Zoom meeting where we can all be on camera and talk. So any last parting words that you wanted to say, Lanie?
Yeah, for me, Joan, is just maybe an encouragement for those groups that have just started. Even if there's just one person working on your team, even if you're a one-man team for a period of time, don't despair, because we started that way too. So it's just me and then Roy and then Minfa. And then now, I until now, I can't really believe that we've attracted so many volunteers. So just be persistent, just keep it up and keep doing what you love to do. Again, even if it's just a one-man team or a three-man team, it doesn't matter. Just keep doing what you want to do, and then ensure that you have some visibility, because that's my mistake before. I just keep on working, and I'm very camera conscious. I'm not sure if it's obvious. So I try to learn how to be comfortable with the cameras and the videos, because somehow it helps in getting the funds you need to support your cause. So thanks, Joanne, for the opportunity to share.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks, Dan. Did you want to wave goodbye, say hello, anything?
Yeah, so thank you very much once again, Green Team Academy, and looking forward for the next year. So there's no too late to join. There's still the next year, 2022. See ya.
Yeah, and if you're in Pakistan, if you're in the Philippines, reach out to Seed for Calm. In the meantime, get involved in their Eco Leader Boot Camp, start a chapter, and then come back around in 2022. And yeah, let's get our Diamond Pakistan team connected with you guys too. That would be great. All right, thanks for everything that you're doing with your lights, and stay safe with the typhoon. All right, everyone. So I put the link to the chat there in the chat to our Zoom meeting. So that's what we're going to do next for our next 30-minute break. So I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting, and I hope to see you in the chat. So please grab that link from the chat, because this meeting will stop. And you also have that link in your email. So if you miss us here, grab the link and join it. And if you're watching on Facebook, you haven't joined yet, go to climateactionchallenge.net, join the summit, and we'll dive in with more teams. All right. Oh, Sheena, nice to see you too. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining from around the world. I'll see you in the Zoom meeting in a minute.